Hello, everybody, to No Outside Food Allowed, or the Nofa Show. As a group of nerds and movie junkies, we're here to discuss all the related news and events. Today, on episode 3, we have a lot of TV talk, from esports to the return of the XFL, to who's getting snubbed for the best picture this year at the Oscars, and also a brutally honest discussion. Are there too many comic TV shows? I'm looking at you, Fear the Walking Dead. Before we start, let's introduce the crew. My name's Adam. I'll be captaining the ship today. My co-hosts, as always, Chris Felix.
Hello, Captain.
Sam Lim.
What up, everybody?
Eddie McGowan.
Hey, what's going on?
And Chris Gagne.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
First of all, I just want to shout out to some of our comments. We appreciate everything you guys say. You know, any kind of critiques, we love that too. So my first shout out is to a Facebook comment. Our first 5-star rating goes to Felix's friend here, Cody Gunter. He said, great podcast, nerdy topics, great insight, and an entertaining cast. We appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to, continue to bring all the nerdy stuff. Thanks, Felix, for getting your friends involved.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
Yeah,
dude. Thanks
appreciate
for
that.
Thank you, Cody. I love you.
And then also from Podbean, our friend from the theater back in the day, Nick Coldiron. He wrote us a great show. Kind of jealous that you guys actually put this together, but good times. BVS, not even on the top 3 comic movies, let alone best ever.
I love him.
Yes.
Oh, Nick, we've got some explaining to do.
Yeah, we're gonna argue this movie eventually. We're gonna have like a whole episode.
Stay
on
tuned
BVS.
someday.
It's gonna happen because there's both sides of the argument on this.
It's gonna be great.
Podcast.
I can't wait.
Nick, listen up for that one. We appreciate your comment, man. Our first topic today, the big XFL announcement.
The big return?
Yeah, the return of the XFL. Vince McMahon pulled $100 million worth of shares, and he's going to bring back this new football league. Felix, what do you think about it, man?
Yeah, who's excited for this?
I think I'm excited for one game. That's going to be it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely interested to see this car wreck.
Yes.
To see how it goes. Maybe there'll be chairs and tables involved, elimination chamber style. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, if they're gonna do it, let's just go full on NFL blitz. Like, let's have finishers.
gosh.
Let's just go crazy with it.
But how are they going to do that and still be more family friendly this time?
That's what I don't understand.
And faster.
And different than what we're getting already, right?
I have a question about this though. Do you think he's bringing this back because of all the hate that's towards the Patriots and the referees that's going on right now?
I was just thinking, I was like, how do we wipe this slate and start over? What the hell can I do in the meantime? All of a sudden, Vince McMahon comes in.
Yeah,
and
here's
announces
the idea.
XFL.
Right? Yeah.
I think what led to this too, though, was the documentary.
The concussion one?
The E60 30 for 30,
30 for 30
with Vince McMahon, because they did talk about the XFL, and at the end of the portion of document, you could tell that Vince, talking to his buddy, he still has that energy behind him that he wants to bring back the XFL for sure. So I could tell that something
He's definitely
cooking.
pumped about it.
Definitely. I think it's his final reach for the glory, because he really wants that.
He's conquered everything he can in wrestling. He's used his name and built this empire, and he wants to be successful. And I think one of you guys hit on it already, but he's seeing that the NFL is rated in the ratings have dipped. The product is obviously
It's the perfect
right
time
now,
for him to come in
totally
and take over.
Why not try it? He's admitted to that the previous incarnation of the XFL was a little gimmicky, and that they're going to try to return it without that. And I'm curious to see what they do. I was a season ticket holder for the first go around, and let's be honest. I mean, it was fun. Was it great? No, but
it actually was pretty exciting at
It was
first.
entertaining.
It was
because
very
his goal was to make
entertaining.
it entertaining.
They got some good players. I mean, I think the championship was LA versus San Francisco, so I mean that's near and dear to my heart. But Tommy Maddox, who played for the LA, I think it was Galaxy, actually went on to be a Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback. And
Sure.
So
He went
Los
to the
Angeles
Super Bowl and lost to the
Extreme.
Cowboys.
yeah, I mean that's
Wow, that was quick.
Sorry.
Sorry. Anyway, Felix had a stat here.
Oh yeah, no. I was just saying that the championship did go to the Los Angeles Extreme
What was the score? You
Uh,
got a score there?
Extreme, thank
didn't
you.
get the score down, but yeah, it wasn't close. I think that was kind of a blowout, if I remember right. Actually, no, I think that was the opening game. The Las Vegas Outlaws, they blew out whoever it is they opened with.
That's right.
But yeah,
Vegas
no,
had a
this-
team too. I forgot.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
the Las
did.
Vegas Outlaws. We actually had Rod Smart. He hate me.
Yeah, he
That's
hate
our
me,
running
right?
back.
That was
Yeah.
like the one jersey that everybody knows as the XFL now is he hate me.
Yeah, that was the
Everybody
thing
had
with
their
the
jerseys.
XFL
You could
was-
put whatever name or
Yeah, it was more
nickname you wanted on there.
gimmicky. Yeah, it wasn't just like last names. It wasn't very proper. Like,
Right,
They
right.
had like more nicknames and just phrases on their
And now he
jerseys.
said, so no social issues are going to be involved in this
Yeah,
XFL.
they-
So that means no jerseys with names on them, right?
Yeah,
So
you know what
that's
was hilarious
pretty
too?
obvious.
Is like during the announcement, Johnny Manziel actually tweeted interest in being in the XFL,
Sure.
only to immediately like
Get
pretty
turned
much
down.
be rejected because they're saying like you can't have a criminal record
Sure.
or any of this sort of garbage. So like
Wah,
he's
wah,
immediately
wah.
shot down, which good because I'm
My-
sorry that he's a little punk ass. I'm not a fan of him.
Question for you guys: what would you like to see, like a change from the NFL that they could do in the XFL that would make you excited for it? Like last time they had that scrum in the beginning, which they crapped away instantly because somebody got
People
hurt.
got
where
hurt.
They ran to the ball. They didn't have punt returns, right? Or they did have punt returns, or something like there was like a running start for punt returns. I don't know. It was something silly. But what would you guys want to see different?
I was going to say, we kind of touched on this early at the beginning. They had kind of the invention of the Skycam in the first XFL.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they could like press
Drone
that a little bit
cam?
more, like, and kind of go into an esports kind of top-down view, something interesting
Yeah,
along
some
those
sort
lines.
of a cinematic perspective almost.
Yeah,
They had this
almost
thing
like
called,
a Madden game itself, you know?
Yeah, they had that sort of like single man camera. I think they call it the Hubba camera or Bubba cam or something like that, where they would really get up inside the huddle and they would have these sort of low angles over in the end zone, so
Yeah.
they'd capture all these
The
plays.
hits and stuff like
yeah,
that.
so they actually had some pretty
Some
cool,
body
innovative
cams would be
ideas,
cool,
yeah.
I think.
Body cams would definitely
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
More mics, more players mic'd. Hear
Right.
them talking
Yeah,
shit
I
to
think
each
that's
other.
where
I mean,
it all kind of started.
I mean,
they started miking
the
the
NFL
up.
players get a
Yeah.
little dirty when they're on the field talking shit.
Sure,
so,
sure.
but I mean, they could edit that.
That's not family
You
friendly.
can bleep it out.
That they
Well,
can bleep it.
To be fair, technically it could be family friendly nowadays because that MPAA rating, you know what I mean? It keeps fluctuating. So,
But who is Vince McMahon to speak about family friendly? I
Right.
mean, like
Well,
you
the
watch
thing-
any sort
well,
of incarnation
remember-
of the WWE. There's,
I
it's
think
just
the
doesn't
funniest
make
part
sense.
was remember when like a few years back WWE was doing the national campaign against bullying. I'm like, but Monday Night Raw, half these rosters are all bullying each other. Like that defeats
Like there's
the
good guys
whole
and bad guys,
purpose.
right? There's a
Yeah.
whole drama
Yeah.
involved.
Here's an interesting question I have for the table itself. With Vince having 2 years to take people's comments and ideas, for team names, do you think they'll be pretty creative nowadays? Or is someone just going to throw some names in a jar and pick it out? What would you guys name the team? If you can name one for Las Vegas, what would you name it?
Oh, dude, I can't
Definitely
even-
wouldn't be the Golden Knights.
What about the Gila Monsters?
The Gila Monsters, right? I don't know. That's a good question. Nevada specifically, I would think something along the lines of the casinos or the
Yeah,
Aces.
be the
or
Las Vegas gamblers.
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
dice rollers.
I mean, it's
I
like
don't know.
it's a little too on point, but sounds good.
But why
High
not?
rollers.
Yeah.
I,
High rollers.
rollers.
there we
High
go.
rollers.
Yeah.
That works.
I'm not creative enough to come up with a name.
Right.
I couldn't name
Names
my
are
own
tough.
pets.
Yeah,
The
we
Las
had
Vegas
a tough
deserts.
enough time naming this podcast. Yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah.
AKA, no one fucking agrees.
That's right.
But
So-
I mean, I'm overall slightly curious to see where this goes. I mean, just for pure entertainment's sake. I mean, like the
Well,
NFL
I'm curious to see what they're going to do different than the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, like what are they going to do away with penalties or
well,
hitting?
yeah,
You
they
know,
they
they're
stated
gonna-
it would be shorter, faster paced, family friendly, easier to understand games, and I'm assuming that
Sure,
will
less
lead to-
rules, I guess,
Yeah,
you know?
with the
Yes,
NFL constantly
hopefully.
changing rules every season, I'm assuming that's
you know,
what
everybody
they're
doesn't know what a
speaking to.
catch is in the NFL, you know, but
I
how are you
still
going to
don't know
do
what the
away with
rules are.
that? You know, like
Yeah.
how's it going to be different?
I just hope they are getting rid of like those things that protect quarterbacks so much. Let them get hit.
You know, I don't know. That's
Let
a good
'em
question
get
too.
hit.
Put Manziel back there with no
What about,
rules.
what about you, Gunny? What would you name the Las Vegas team? Or would you name the team in Oregon if you were be able to suggest a name?
An
I
Oregon
would
team?
love to have an Oregon team, but of course I kind of live in the boonies of Central Oregon, so I'm not going to have a team here. It'll be Portland most likely, and I would just call it like hippies or weirdos. Nothing super exciting. I like the high rollers for Las Vegas. They weren't very creative last go around. I mean, the San Francisco team was the Demons. I mean, the San
Yeah,
Francisco
right, it's all
Demons, the
super
LA
generic.
Extreme. It was, I
I actually have a listing of all the team
nothing
names
super
right here.
creative like the fire.
The one
Give us
that
a
actually
rundown.
catches my eye is the New York Hitmen,
Hitmen.
which is
Ugh.
does not seem like it would fly nowadays.
Right. right.
That one
That
caught
sounds
my
a
eye.
little
Yeah, there's also the Birmingham Thunderbolts, the Chicago Enforcers, the Orlando Rage, that's a creative, the Memphis Maniacs
Rage.
with an X, the San Francisco Demons.
See, they're all
and-
just super generic.
Yeah, then
one
the
word.
Los Angeles Extreme with an X in the beginning because why not? Because it was the 2000s and the Las Vegas Outlaws.
That was 2001 when the first XFL.
Yeah, the first and
season
only
s-
season.
Yeah,
They lost a lot of money too.
And like
$35 million.
$35 million out of their 100.
Who do you think would pick up these this next go around, like TV wise? You think
Well,
it'd be ESPN, ABC, and all those guys?
Spike.
I think
Oh,
ESPN will stay away from that, right?
Oh, Spike
think so?
TV.
What? ESPN has like a deal with the NFL going on, right?
They do, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they do for sure.
So who's gonna pick them up?
Well, I don't think they have anybody yet, right? So Vince is just trying to like sell it at this point.
Well,
I think he's trying to push it toward. Oh, go.
I was just going to ask, the WWE is currently what, on USA, right? And where else?
Yeah, Universal.
That could probably anywhere that Vince's other properties are on. That would be the first
Yeah.
spot I would think of.
Yeah.
So
They'll expand a little bit, being under the Universal umbrella. He was on Sci-Fi. He was on USA. I know that recently Spike TV just switched over to Paramount. So I don't know if there's any connection
Connection
there. Yeah.
I think we're just hoping to see more football. I think that's what the audience wants. We'll see if it pans out or not.
Yeah,
I do.
mean,
I do wish him well. I hope that he learned from his first time going around, all the mistakes he made. I mean, there'd be other opportunities for other players too now to switch around.
Yeah, I feel like if they take their time, like it seems they're going to, if we start to hear, some names, whether it's Manziel or whoever, if they get some names, if you know and you're invested in these guys beforehand, it might be successful. Like you put it on not against the NFL, but when the NFL's in their off season, people have something to watch. I mean, who turned into the Pro Bowl today, and I mean that's impressive enough.
I watched it. It was actually a pretty decent game. They actually played this year. I think last year was really bad. Like nobody seemed like they wanted to be there.
Last year was half-ass.
Yeah, super half-ass. But this year, the AFC actually came back and won it in the fourth quarter. People were actually laughing and smiling. It looked like they had a good time.
Nice.
And that's what I kind of like to see out of the Pro Bowl. Is just them getting along.
By smiling
instead of-
folks, did you include Cam Newton too? I didn't. I can't
I'm
remember.
not sure if I saw Cam.
Depends if
Newton.
he was winning or losing.
Dude is always smiling.
My one suggestion for the XFL would be to like get the audience more involved.
Like a Twitter board or something like that.
Kind of for them to poll the audience to see if they agree with the penalty or want to go into a replay.
Oh, like a
that'd be
lifetime
crazy.
vote.
Like if that was a
lifetime
catch or
vote.
not a catch or
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that would be dope for like the
That
replay
would be
situations,
amazing.
like
Yeah,
for
that'd
the
be funny.
challenge flags. Everyone
Challenge
gets a
flags.
chance
It's
to
great.
vote.
Yeah,
Like,
just
you
go
can-
full on gimmicky and just do a bunch of crazy shit. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it's the XFL.
make it fun.
I feel like hearing this now. I feel like whenever Brady retires from NFL, he'll probably come over to XFL just to get a little more glory, just a little more.
Fuck off, Brady.
We just don't want to see any more
That's
Brady
it.
after the
Stop.
Super Bowl.
He'll own a team, but he will not play.
Wait.
No, see,
Win again and go away. I don't know, man. He's hungry.
He'll play forever.
All right.
So
He'll
what's
play
the
until they tell him he can't.
since we're recording this? What's the call? 2 seasons? What's over under? So I'll set it at 2 seasons. You think it goes over or under 2 seasons?
I'm gonna go over just because I'm hopeful and I really would like to see something else during the NFL's off season.
Okay.
That's
with you.
true. That makes
yeah,
sense.
you
That
know,
makes sense.
I'm with you. I want it to go more than 2, but the realistic part of me gives it 2 max. Honestly, I guess that's kind of where I'm sitting at.
Push.
I'm. Oh,
Ties
so
loose.
sorry. Good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go under, man. I think the interest will fizzle out. I think the first game will be the only hyped one, and then everybody will just lose interest.
do you give more than 1 season though?
No, I'd say one season.
Really?
is done.
Again? Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would really be kind of shitty though. I mean, twice, 1 season, and then you're. It's just
We'll
like
see. I
it's
don't
just a
know.
thing that like who
Let's see.
asked for this
Let's
to
see
come
it.
back, and I'm not trying to be
It was
negative.
very
about
surprising
it.
about
Yeah,
this
it's like
announcement.
really, it's like who
Kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they literally came out of nowhere. But I'm genuinely curious. I think it'll be entertaining, to say the very least.
Entertaining, yeah, in the very least.
We're rooting for it.
Yeah, we are rooting for it.
I'll shoot for 1.5 seasons, just
Oh,
in
you think
case like
cancel
halfway
midway.
through the second. Yeah, it gets canceled. It'll be like a classic Fox situation. They're on Fox halfway through season 2. Oh, you're canceled. See you guys later. Bye.
Closing up shop.
That's great.
But I'm interested who they're going to recruit though as commentators. There's so many selections out there.
Some old retired wrestlers.
Gosh,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, it could be anybody that needs a job.
I hope Stone Cold's.
I would take
I
one.
hope Stone Cold's one of them.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
I would
bro.
turn in
Have
for
fun.
that.
Yeah.
That could be entertaining. Giving us the play-by-play. That's what I really liked about. I actually tuned in to watch one of the Overwatch League live broadcasts on Twitch, and they had 3 announcers, and I really liked listening to them give the play-by-play and stuff, which was pretty cool. Which actually does lead us into the esports category here. And if you're asking yourself, what the heck is esports, you're probably listening to the wrong podcast. But I'm going to spell it out for you a little bit. It's electronic sports. It's basically an organized competitive gaming, and it's exploded in the last decade or so. Kind of started out with games like Counter-Strike and League of Legends. Eddie, you want to jump in on this topic? Yeah, jump right in.
Yeah, esports are crazy, right? Like, it started off like little Counter-Strike, you're talking 10,000, 15, 30,000 viewers, right? But now, then League of Legends gets popular.
Cafes is what I was looking for.
A single person streaming League of Legends, a popular one, can have like
Millions of
30,000 viewers at one point, and you're like,
Exactly. It's crazy.
and if you go to Twitch, League of Legends,
Donations.
Dota,
Oh my gosh.
those are always the top games because people like watching them and getting their perspective, right? And then
That's like I was saying with the commentators. They really give you like in-depth
A lot of
strategies,
insight.
like
Very-
things I would never
very
think
good
of to
insight,
do,
for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
for sure, and they, of course, as it's gotten more popular, they've made like things easier for viewers to watch, to try to understand. Right? They did this Blizzard has their Dota League of Legends clone called
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm,
Yep.
and it was maybe 2 years ago. They had a thing for the collegiate thing where it was Heroes of the Dorm. And it was actually on
A championship, right?
Yeah, that was like the first one that was aired on cable. I think it was ESPN.
I think it was
Yeah,
ESPN.
people were in shock.
Because a lot of people were complaining, what the fuck is this? I'm like,
Yeah, video games on
like,
ESPN now.
video game nerds
That
and
was
blah, blah,
kinda
blah, blah,
it.
blah. And
What the hell am I watching?
but like it had like crazy numbers on TV. It had crazy numbers on the streams. That's like,
Yeah.
it's not going
It's
anywhere.
an epidemic.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
people just need to understand that and either watch it or don't.
Did you watch a lot of Twitch, Felix?
Not really, honestly. The only time I ever really go on Twitch is if I'm curious about a game, like when I'm kind of researching something. If I want to like actually invest buying it,
Get some gameplay?
Yeah, I just kind of want to see like I don't want a trailer because trailers are always like cinematic.
Right.
They're obviously
Yeah,
edited.
they're
you actually
geared
want to see
toward-
the
Yeah,
gameplay
they're
itself.
selling you on the highest points of the game. I want to see natural gameplay to know
Right.
exactly what I'm getting into. As far as the competition goes, I mean, I guess it can be fun. Sometimes it's just not something I'm going to go run.
If it was a
tune
game
into.
that you played, like a Street Fighter or something like
yeah,
that.
I mean,
would
if
you
it
Or
was
like
something I was really
Bloodborne.
into. Oh, dude,
Bloodborne.
if there was a
videos.
Bloodborne championship?
Yeah, they do speed runs. That's one of the things that I do watch, like watching people speed run Dark Souls or Dark Souls 3. They have a little timer, right, for each boss. Bam, 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 to see if they're on track to beat the person who has a world record. And you just see ridiculous things,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
They're going through these games that other people would spend like, hundreds of hours on just to beat the one time sometimes. And like this guy's going with no armor, one sword, and is parrying a boss.
Sure.
And not just like parrying, he goes to the boss, looks at the screen, does a little
Taunts at him, right?
taunt, and then turns around and parries before the boss gets his first attack off. It's like, but I mean, I sometimes will be like, I'll go through like periods where I don't even game, and I'll just watch other people game because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna buy this game, but it's interesting and I'll watch it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And sometimes like I'll be watching a game that I don't think I want to buy, and I'll be like, oh no, I am gonna get
Like,
this
that's
game.
why.
like a game that I'm just somewhat curious about, but I don't really want to fully buy. So I'm okay with watching somebody else play it. Like that.
Yeah.
Like I guess I'm kind of more into Let's Plays. I guess.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Let's Plays. Yeah.
Yeah, just because, like I said, games are expensive, man. I mean, brand new games,
definitely.
$60 a pop for the basic
Yeah.
game. Sometimes I just genuinely
I
want to know.
guess if it's
a
like
little
a
bit.
game that I'm not really into buying, or like like I borrowed Arkham Knight or Arkham Asylum or something like that
Yeah.
from you, and I didn't get past like the intro because it was super hard. Like something like that, I would consider watching on Twitch just so I could get part of the game's in storyline.
Can we get past the beginning? Which one?
It was the
the
recent
last one.
The recent
Oh,
one.
Arkham Knight.
With Red Hood.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Well, for
I
me,
mean, it was difficult at the beginning.
I noticed that the esports been growing at a good pace, and especially here in Vegas at the downtown Grand, there's always e tournaments, competitions going on every weekend. And then the local mom and pop arcades out here in town too also sponsors like Street Fighter tournaments, Super Smash nights where everyone comes together, hang out. And the cool thing I like is, from what I've seen, is the positive side of it, which is the community. You see a lot of people coming out, bringing their families. Like, people are growing into it. Like, it's a new tradition now.
Yeah.
People seeing and being inspired to play the game better, to practice a little more, get to know your characters. Like, it drives you, and it keeps the industry alive. The only thing I'll knock on the downside is, of course, you're in Vegas, so when you go to like the downtown Grand, you have to pay the marked up price for all the items, of course, you know what I mean, or paid parking and all that.
You'll get an $8 water as you watch the game. It's cool.
You don't want the $10 pretzel?
Hey, the casinos are getting into it too. There's a couple of big venues. I think MGM's one that's going to have like a big gaming venue just for
Mandalay
like
Bay,
championship
too.
series
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well, just ESPN alone getting in on this Madden deal, I thought was a pretty big thing with Disney XD. I mean, there's a market for it now, and they're branching out beyond just some of these. What are those games called that you guys were mentioning?
MOBAs.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, to move it to sports games, I think that's a pretty big deal for ESPN to be banking on that being successful. And,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
watching a Madden
The
tournament.
Madden championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? I know you had a link to it. You could put that definitely in a podcast.
Yeah, we'll need to put a link to it. I don't know what the breakdown is, but I know that they're moving forward. They're going to start doing Madden tournaments and airing them on ESPN and Disney XD.
And airing them specifically on ESPN and stuff. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd watch it.
I would watch for, I guess it depends on what the situation was. Like, I like when they get the NFL players involved, and, there's some guys that are really good at that game, and they'll, go against some of the best people in the country on that game. But I don't know. I'm in the minority here. I can't watch people play games. Like, I have very limited time as it is to play games myself, and so I can't imagine turning that on. The TV's usually only on if I'm checking in on sports anyway, so to watch somebody play a game that I would rather just be playing, I don't know, it's kind of tough. I see
That's true.
I see the other aspect of, if you're not going to buy the game and you want to preview it.
Myself, I'm probably not going to play Madden, so that's why I'd probably be more interested in catching it on TV.
Okay.
Like, I think if it was a game that I'd be interested in playing, say like God of War or something like that, I'm not going to watch Twitch somebody play that God of War. I'll play it myself.
Right.
Well,
like I wouldn't watch something that's like story based. Like a lot of when I got into League of Legends, like every character plays so differently. So you're like, oh, there's
You're
a
kinda watching for
professional.
strategies,
there's a
too.
professional playing my favorite character. I'm gonna go see what he does differently because I'm terrible
It
at
is a
this
little
fucking
bit
game.
different kind of game. That's true.
Majority of games
It's the same with Street Fighter though.
you're viewing on tournaments and on Twitch are mostly FPS or fighting games or MOBA games. Those are the majority of the games.
Kind of fast paced.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, MOBA is multiplayer online battle arena. It's usually.
I'm sorry.
It's
Thank you, Eddie.
I'm just letting people know. So it's usually like the most popular style is the isometric, like top down view, with 3 lanes, 5v5, and that's it. But I mean, League of Legends is like the most popular game in the world. It has like 31 million people who play it.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous,
Well,
and that's why they like. There was a a thing that was like I don't even know what I was on, but they're like, how many hours was viewed of League of Legends in this 2-day period?
Probably
19 million. True or false? And I was like, it's probably false because
Probably
and I
more than
clicked
that,
it. And it's like, yeah, that was just the first like fucking whatever game. It's crazy how much it's watched and how much it's played because of how many people play.
31
Definitely.
million,
Plus all the
that's crazy.
teams. Korea is well known
Yes.
for their online gaming, and they practice like 12 to 16 hours a day. Like, there's cafes they go practice at where they order the food and they bring it to them and they eat like right there. They barely take bathroom breaks.
Healthy
It's
lifestyle,
nuts.
true gamer.
Well, they also have to stay fit. These gamers, I mean, not all of them are fit, but I mean, they all have like regulations their coaches give them sometimes because sitting down and playing a game for 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day, they do that sometimes. But I mean, and the streamers, for whatever reason, they don't seem to have a long career, like in the actual professional part of it, and so they'll retire. But all those people that that audience they built while being a professional follows them.
Oh, definitely.
And through
Yeah.
their other games, well, they aren't when they stop playing League of Legends as much and they go into Overwatch
Call of Duty
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just bring the audience with
And
them.
whatever new game they decide to play. Right?
I think if we ever decide to start a Twitch channel, the first game we should play is Tecmo Bowl.
Heck Mobile.
Heck yeah.
I can actually
Heck
play
yeah.
that.
Hella old
All
school.
right.
Guy's like, I'll whoop your ass. I know that one.
And then we'll go for top 5 for the best score in Duck Hunt. Bring it on.
okay.
Bring it on,
You don't
son.
want to see people melting down because of the dog laughing. I mean,
Yeah, the
it's
dog just laughing.
no.
Broken controllers and broken TVs.
And Broken Hearts.
So is there a
Broken
lot of
Hearts.
money in it? I mean, do the players
Oh my
earn
God.
a lot of money?
Yeah, those kids get paid out a lot.
What was
The sponsorship's ridiculous.
actually even like however much League of Legends players make Dota, they get like crazy big like pots because what they do in Dota that's different is they sell in-game items that goes towards the next tournament.
Towards
So
the pot.
yeah, so
Oh, that's
imagine
interesting.
your like whatever game your favorite game is.
I
But
like that. It's
there's
kind
a
of giving
s-
back to the community.
There's a skin, right? That's like $10, $11, whatever. And you're like, well, yeah, I'm gonna get that because it's the only way to get it, right? It's limited. It's only this moment, right? So you go
Yep.
and you splurge, you get your $11, whatever, and then it goes towards this pot, and it all just keeps adding up.
Part of it,
because
I'm
Steam has so many people, you know, and they all like even people who don't play Dota. Maybe they like supporting the esports. You know,
Yeah, these championship games are real. They put up some big prizes.
I think someone
in
like
the
won
tens and hundred thousands of dollars and
millions
for like the big ones. Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
It's crazy.
I actually seen the Downtown Grand Las Vegas Tekken tournament. I think the top prize was between $2 to like $3,000.
Yeah. And that's just a tiny local one
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, we have in
That's like
Vegas,
an
we
every
have
weekend type of
EVO
thing.
every year.
Yeah,
and
we
if
should
you-
mention that
even
for
if you're
sure.
not a fighting game fan, I'm telling you, watch like the last few rounds of the Street Fighter thing, and people are
just
going
intense.
crazy. It's really good. The guy, the guy who won last year, he's Tokido. He's never won at EVO. He was in the losers bracket, had to win like 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
Play the guy who's in first basically in the tournament, right? Beat him the 3 rounds, and then beat him again. And you can just
Dang.
see this because this kid he's only 20.
pretty
I think he's
impressive.
like 22. The other guy, not
Yeah.
Takedo. Takedo's been in the game forever.
Taquito.
He's like really young, but you can see when he loses that first set that his gameplay just drops. Like you don't even have to know about Street Fighter. Just know that he just
lost it.
was
He
just
lost it.
like yeah, his emotions were on his sleeve. You know, and
Nice, nice.
Poor
It's-
guy, poor
it's
guy.
crazy.
man.
It was a good tournament though.
I think the
crazy.
first fighting video I've ever seen was definitely the fight between Chun-Li and Dacium,
Oh
the counter. Or,
no, it's Ken and you're talking about Evo Moment 34 or 53,
Okay, you're getting
something
too
like
nerdy,
that.
guys.
Oh, I'm saying it was Eddie's seen the video. It's a really good counter
Such a
with Chun-Li,
specific
just
callback.
like Harry.
I actually know exactly what video you're talking about. I just didn't know there was that many. You know, that was such
yeah.
a specific title to it.
In Street Fighter, blocking is holding back, right? So to parry, I know this is getting like really
know, it's
inside,
good.
inside
It's good.
baseball about Street Fighter, right? To parry, you have to push forward at the exact same time that the hit will hit you. So it's your whole life that you've been taught to hold back to block in fighting games.
Counterattack those exact opposite.
So yeah, and basically he parries like a 21 hit combo.
All up in a
But he
row.
nails it perfectly every
time.
parry.
And then as his
And the life
as
bar.
he
Explain the life
yeah,
bar.
Oh yeah. So parries. The reason why parries were important is all the other moves take damage even when you block, right? So he has a line of life. So yeah. Anyway.
So I
go
thought
watch the
that those
video.
were just called button mashers, and we just pressed a bunch of buttons to make things happen. There's the actual moves. You sure?
Oh, yeah,
I feel
for
like I
sure.
can get in that tournament and at least get in the top 50. Nah, maybe not.
1,000.
with
Yes.
just some mad
Just
button
mad
mashing
button
skills.
mashing, man.
Well,
Give me Eddie.
last-
Eddie, what was the guy from Tekken that everyone hated because it was like
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie
That's the
Gordo.
one he used.
nice.
I remember he used that Gagne. And then Christina Montenegro.
Well,
yeah, that's a new one.
Regardless
Or
if you're
Hwoarang.
a fan or not of video games, esports will definitely continue to grow. It's going to be on ESPN, like we said, Madden Championships. It's going to be all over Twitch. We'll continue to cover a little bit more of that. Let's jump into our next topic, I believe, is the Oscars. And Ganya will cover a little bit of that. And let me say this about the Oscars. I'm just glad to see a couple of movies that I've actually watched get nominated. Ones like Blade Runner, Baby Driver, and Logan, to be specific. We'll get into that a little bit. But I want to throw it to Gagne to cover a little bit more of this on the Oscars.
You sure you didn't watch Phantom Thread yet? I feel like that's up your alley. You know?
I mean,
Bad
it sounds
fashion
kind of
design.
like something I'd watch.
It's Daniel
You know-
Day-Lewis's final movie.
And that's the thing to me. Like, it kills me because it's Daniel Day-Lewis. It's Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean,
Yeah.
I love There Will Be Blood, but for some reason, I see that preview and I just fall asleep.
You're
I'm
like, no,
this
thank
can't
you.
be good. There's no way. But no, I wanted to mention, like, I was very surprised, and I talked to you about it earlier this week, Adam, that Logan, I mean, for a nomination
finally.
for adapted screenplay, that's huge. Like, that's a comic book that got nominated for an Oscar. That's amazing.
That's legit.
awesome.
That's
Fucking
nothing
love
like,
that movie.
sound editing, which is kind of just like an
it's
entry
finally
level.
time.
It's
Finally.
a meaningful award.
It
you know?
is.
That's
yeah,
great.
That's very cool.
It is. I feel like with screenplay more than anything, that's one of those that, like, hey, we're recognizing that this was a good story and it was well done. And even though, it didn't get a Best Picture nom or any acting noms, which, hey, you can make an argument for Patrick Stewart, that
Absolutely.
Oh my
this
god, yeah.
this is a huge
Any of
a
the three
huge
of them,
move.
honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Logan
and that's
or what's her name?
Daphne King.
Yeah, the little girl.
she was
girl.
great.
She was
awesome.
awesome.
I loved her.
and I think that kind of leads me to my if Logan's my biggest surprise, like I was not expecting that at all. I think my biggest disappointment was that they didn't nominate Carrie Fisher for a Princess Leia role. I feel like they could have, as a supporting actress thing, posthumously, I wasn't expecting
Just as
her to-
recognition, or do
Totally,
you honestly think
totally.
that she was worthy of it?
I think that 40 years playing a character and being as iconic as it was and having the career that she had deserved at least
a
recognition.
nomination.
At least a nomination. I'm not saying it was the best role, and I have my issues with The Last Jedi and including what they wrote for her, but because it was her and because it was 40 years and because it was so iconic, I felt like you could have just thrown it in
okay,
there.
so why not give her like an icon award?
They will eventually. I think they will.
Yeah.
They're not going to this year, and that's again a bummer. But I think that would have been my biggest disappointment. I was really hoping that there would have been some recognition. If you're going to sneak in something like Logan, which again, great story to draw from and worthy of
excellent.
the nomination, I think that you could have done something like this. This would have been the year you were like, okay, well that makes sense too, because, well, I mean, look at that body of work. I mean, 40 years of that. So that was all. I think my the rest of the nominees, at least for Best Picture, were pretty.
I was gonna say you tend to watch more of the Oscar-nominated movies than most of this group, and on occasion, I believe you've watched most of the Best Pictures that have been nominated.
missed
What
that.
was your number on this list here?
I'm a 5 and 9 right now. I have Get Out, Dunkirk, Shape of Water, 3 Billboards, and Lady Bird so far that I've seen. So I still need to see The Post, Phantom Thread,
Yeah,
Call Me by Your Name, and Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour, which I've heard good
Man,
things about.
Yeah, I've definitely saved the slow dramas, for the
right.
but everyone knows, I think I said so far, Shape of Water, hands down, has been my favorite movie of the year. I admire Guillermo del Toro so much, and I think this movie is so much fun and just so well done. So I'm pulling for it. Do I think it's going to win? Definitely not. I think he might win director though, so that'd be cool.
I really appreciate Gagne because I'm a big fan of Guillermo del Toro too.
You should see how hard my
our-
eyes are rolling right
Our
now.
host here, his eyes are rolling back like the Undertaker.
Totally fine. He doesn't have to. So okay, so I throw it to you guys then. What
Sure.
is your biggest surprise and what would your biggest disappointment be?
Oh, this is what I was gonna get at. Is I don't watch really good movies.
You watch
I
garbage.
I watch a lot of trash. I freely admit that. But like when it comes to these kind of movies, I usually wait for like a DVD rentals or whatever. Of all these movies, which do you think a person who likes trash
would watch.
would watch and enjoy?
Maybe Dunkirk.
Dunkirk?
Get Out, I heard, was pretty good.
Yeah, I hear
Get
that
Out was
one too.
good. Get Out was
Yeah,
good.
that was
You know?
fantastic.
The rest of it, I consider more of an Oscar-worthy upper echelon type of movie. That
Actually,
that's not
I'll
garbage,
watch
if
it.
you will.
I have Baby Driver on Blu-ray. You want
Baby
to borrow
Driver.
it? I'll let you borrow it, dude.
Yeah,
Baby
it's a good
Driver
movie.
should have been in Best Picture category by my accounts. That's
The
one of
music's
my
amazing. The
snubs,
cinematography,
if
the
you will.
storyline.
That's-
It was really good. And it's one of those movies you watch and you kind of thought you had it figured out. and it goes the other way. You're like, oh, that's cool. That's totally
Do
cool.
you think Baby Driver may have gotten snubbed in any sort of way due to the fact that Kevin Spacey was leading?
For
100%. 100%.
That's possible. Very possible.
The same goes for other pictures like what's it called? The Disaster
The one
Artist
he
with
was-
James Franco
yeah.
as well, because recently he's had
Franco got
accusations about it,
accused too,
and
yeah.
especially like right after the Golden Globes when he won Best Actor. So I think that's what he won for. So yeah, do you think that may have overall affected?
Well, let me throw this back at you. Wasn't the other movie that Spacey got erased out of?
Yeah.
Wasn't that up for an Oscar?
dude? That
Well,
is-
he got
Well, he
nominated.
got-
The actor.
Yeah, the actor that came in, right?
Christopher Plummer.
Christopher
Yeah,
Plummer.
he's
Yeah.
actually nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to give you
So-
that flip too.
Supporting.
So,
Yeah.
so I
Or
guess
Best Supporting
maybe,
Actor, yeah.
maybe yes, maybe no.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of these films. I mean, I can't really speak to it, genuinely because I've only seen 2 of the 9 nominations for Best Picture.
Right.
Most of these films, honestly, but I feel like a lot of these are typical Oscar bait or just the typical stuff you would see nominated. The Post, for instance, has the holy
Right.
trifecta.
Oh, how can
of
that not
Steven
win, right?
Spielberg, Meryl Streep,
And Tom Hanks.
And
It's
Tom
like,
Hanks,
that's,
yeah.
it's
Might as well
Oscar
write that one
gold
in.
right there.
Are you saying Tom Hanks is like the Tom Brady of like?
no.
The Oscars.
Yeah, but I like,
Oscars.
but I like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's the thing. The difference is Tom Hanks is
You're an
likable.
evil person if you say you do not like Tom
Right?
Hanks.
There's something-
He's
yeah,
like
I-
the most likable person
I wouldn't
in
trust
Hollywood.
you if you didn't like Tom Hanks.
Hanks over
Yeah, I
Brady.
know.
Hanks over Brady.
Exactly. Yeah,
His
but like-
Instagram's hilarious, by the way. If you guys don't follow
It is.
Oh.
It is lovely. He's a lovely
Get on there.
man.
It's funny.
yeah, but then again, you also have films like where to go, Phantom Thread, like you just said, Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Thomas Anderson, just typical shoo-ins for Oscar, and like whether or not anybody actually gives a shit about the film. Like you said, the Phantom
Yeah.
Thread. It's
Whoa.
like, it does not look. I'm sorry, it's just not my
No,
film.
no,
But
no.
it just,
I agree.
Mine
But
either.
the thing is, I think the way they marketed though was brilliant because Daniel Day-Lewis announced it's his final film, so of course people are gonna rush to it.
Yeah, maybe.
Everyone that watched There Will Be Blood or like, oh snap, it's his last one. I gotta go then. For
yeah.
sure.
Well, because Daniel Day-Lewis is a borderline psychopath whenever he films a film. Like he's just like gets in
He
the character
encompasses
to
the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, to
Bill
like,
the Butcher.
definitely extend sometimes.
That was
Have you
good.
guys seen Lincoln? Remember that one?
no,
That was pretty good.
Oh, dude,
I didn't.
He
Gangs of New York,
encompassed it
though.
all.
I
I
like
know how
that.
that
love
story
that
ends.
Gangs
so.
of New York's good.
I love that movie, and I love There Will Be Blood. What's this? Why don't I own this? He
One-
has so many like crazy like.
One Oscar battle that I noted was for director John Williams versus Hans Zimmer, like 2 of the best in the world, up for for Star Wars and for Dunkirk.
Yeah.
For I believe it's best
Yeah.
composer.
There you go.
Yeah.
I lost
There
it.
you go.
Yeah.
I was like, best director. What
Yeah,
happened?
sorry, I knew that was wrong when
Yeah.
I said it.
Shout out to our friend John who listens and gave us the suggestions for this topic. But who was it that got salty about Moulin Rouge over Gladiator?
Oh, yeah.
Should I remember,
Oh, yeah,
that?
that's John. He's very salty over that. Even though Gladiator was amazing, he thought Moulin Rouge deserved Best Picture. Hey, to each their own. Some people like Star Wars: Last Jedi, some people don't.
Well, my question was he not entertained?
romantic.
Was he not entertained?
That was all that was for.
Apparently not.
Gladiator over
I don't think
Moulin
he
Rouge
was.
any day for me, dude. What about you, Eddie? Moulin Rouge or Gladiator?
I'm just mad at you right now.
You can't be mad at me, bro.
No, it was good. It was good.
I was also pretty excited for Blade Runner, which I really
Yes.
enjoyed.
Bro, that was
it
a really
got
good one.
5 nods, including cinematography, production design, VFX. Really enjoyed that movie. Can't say enough.
Little
about it.
disappointed he didn't get director nod.
A little
'cause
bit.
He's one of my favorite directors right now, and I think that he is just, can't do no wrong. So we'll see.
And then I was a little disappointed that Wonder Woman got completely snubbed out of everything.
Yeah.
Right? I was
You-
confused.
you know,
I was like,
it-
where was Wonder Woman?
For costume design, for
Yeah.
visual effects, for something, obviously there was this glaring opening in Best Picture. There was only 9 nominations instead of the usual 10.
Could've
They
tossed in
could've
Wonder
put
Woman.
Wonder Woman in there for sure,
I-
or Baby Driver, or Blade Runner,
Or you throw Logan in there
or
too.
Logan. From
Logan.
like why is this one blank? I don't know.
I think on Logan, I think Patrick Stewart should have easily been considered for best supporting actor.
Best supporting actor.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean whether or not it's comic book movie, just his portrayal of a character with Alzheimer's and just something so real in a world that is pure
you really
fiction.
felt those characters. I did.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely,
absolutely.
definitely.
Especially if you watch the film since the beginning. I mean, how many years since the first X-Men movie for them
Exactly.
to actually wrap it
Almost
up?
20.
Oh yeah, dude.
for
It,
sure.
it was yeah. It was
The
great
scene,
film.
the
It's the
scene that
first,
killed me. Oh, good.
I was sorry. It was just the first comic book movie that really kind of was gut wrenching. You know,
Oh,
hit
yeah.
you in the stomach.
Definitely,
You know,
definitely.
and that was what I liked about
No,
it.
I really needed a palate cleanser when that
Yeah,
movie was
oh, I know, right?
Yeah, dude, that was rough.
Not the typical Marvel formula right there.
No,
so
man.
and
The-
then it
the-
got a nod for it. So there you go. Who
Yeah.
knows?
The best excuse was that inside that theater was like, someone probably cut an onion open. That's
It's
why everyone was
dusty.
getting a little
It was
teary eyed.
dusty, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just-
theater.
It's
It
so
was like-
dusty. It's so dusty in every theater. But I was gonna say, for me, when I watched Logan, like the most gut wrenching scene, it in a kind of positive way was that dinner table scene, because everyone's sitting there and actually smiling for once. For one split second, they were happy, and anyone that watches movies know that
That's when it's
happiness
about
is
to go
it's
down.
horrible foreshadowing. It's horrible foreshadowing.
Yeah.
When I saw Logan smiling and passing food, and Patrick Stewart smiling too, I was like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
crap!"
Didn't that suck?
Did you have
like
the,
all the
uh,
happiness? Oh shit, that's not gonna go
when
well.
you were watching the movie, did you just have that uneasy feeling because you knew where it was headed?
Oh, right?
Exactly.
I
The
think
whole
everybody
time I'm
did.
just like,
And-
no, not this moment. Okay,
And
it's
that's
fine.
what's so
No, no.
great about that movie is you knew it was going to happen, and it was set up so well that you don't really see it coming. The ending.
Yeah, and it still hurts so much. It hurts me now.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority here. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but not nearly as much as you guys.
Really?
I had some
Yeah,
I had some glaring issues with it, but
Like,
He's still mad about the cell phone. He's still mad about the
Love-
cell phone.
love Patrick Stewart. I absolutely that's one.
Actually, I agree
one,
with you.
Sam.
That was a terrible scene.
That whole I recorded everything that was going on and nobody saw me, even though I got this perfect cell phone footage of it.
She even dubbed her voiceover too.
That too, yeah. She was talking
time to
the
edit it
whole
and
time.
very convenient. That's her mutant power, man.
I disliked I won't spoil it, but I disliked the enemy he fought, and I get the whole like foreshadowing and fighting himself like it's battle, internal battle.
Right.
I think they could have done. It was his last chance. Like give him something big, even if you bring Sabretooth back again. Just give him something epic. Like I loved that they. Okay, now spoilers, but they killed him
Yeah, just
off.
give
That's-
it. Nobody. Yeah, everybody's seen it. Hopefully.
You
had
should
a
have seen
year.
it by now.
Yeah,
But,
you need
yeah,
to see it if you haven't.
we're not a spoiler-free show here, so
No. Go for it.
You had your chance. Yeah, I think that I love that. I loved Patrick Stewart. I loved that it was rated R. I loved that they could give us an adult version of a character who is supposed to be salty and curse and
Very
and
salty.
Just
Broken down.
there was a lot to it that I liked. There was just some things that I was like, damn it, like it's just so close. But that's part of being a fan, right? You're gonna have
You can
those
nitpick.
moments where you're like, damn it, if only they would have done this, it could have been, perfect in my eyes. But that's, take it with a grain of salt. I still enjoyed the film. So
Right. Yeah.
I would not have nominated it for Best Picture. That's my point.
Well, I think we're all still surprised that it got adapted screenplay. That's excellent. We're gonna root for it. We'll probably do a show after the Oscars, obviously, to cover what gets awarded Best Picture or snubbed or
And who-
talked
who won,
over.
who
Yeah.
lost.
And who did the best out of our group for the Oscar poll?
Yes,
So.
we can do a poll. We're gonna do. I know Gagne does it every year with John.
Oh yeah,
Some sort of
definitely.
bracket.
They do every year. They even email each other and give us screenshots of the bracket. You're a bunch of nerds.
Shout out to John's dad, who wins pretty much every year.
Right. True enough. Anything else on the Oscars? What are we looking forward to
Who's hosting this year?
hosting?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel
Oh,
good?
yeah, I was gonna
Nice.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
It
done
should be
I'm always
entertaining at
happy with.
least.
Yeah, how many
Yeah.
times has he done it now? He's done it a couple times, right?
Two
He's
or
a good
three
host.
now. Yeah. I enjoy him, so
Yeah.
it'll be good. I urge you guys to get out and see a couple of them at least before, because there's some good ones in there,
Definitely.
including
I'm a-
3 Billboards.
That's the one I've heard the most about. My brother, he raves about that one. He says it has a very much like a Fargo-like feel. So I'm very curious to
It
see
does.
how that is.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The guy who wrote it also did In Bruges, and just a very funny script.
Oh,
and
really?
In Bruges was
Good
I like in
performances.
Bruges.
I enjoyed it.
Very cool. Very cool. We'll keep you updated on the Oscars then.
Remember, everybody, root for Guillermo del Toro, just to make Adam mad.
Guillermo.
I'm not saying he's a bad director. I thought the movie could have been more.
Fish love is not Adam's style.
Fish
You don't
love.
like
yeah.
sushi?
You like fish sticks?
They got a lot of them.
Anyway, on that note, we're gonna send it over to Sam here for this last topic. It's the TV and the oversaturation of it and comic book properties in general.
Yeah.
Do you think it's too many now? What do we got like 1,000 different comic book shows on?
Well,
I can't keep up, Sam.
some of the shows that were near and dear to my heart was definitely Flash growing up in the 90s, and then Smallville, was just
I love Smallville. Man.
The first like
the first 5 seasons.
4 or 5 seasons I was gonna say were
Yeah.
really good.
The first
And
5
then I fell
seasons.
off it too.
Yeah.
It started getting kind of
What happened was
played out, I think.
the original writers from the first batch of the 5 seasons.
was that the
left.
writer's strike.
Yeah, it happened during
out.
the writer's strike. The writers left. The 2 main people left, so they got like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Sure.
Trying to throw in their own spices.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed Smallville, like I said, up
No
to
real
season 5.
direction. Yeah,
After that, it started bumming me out a little bit. And the one thing I keep telling folks that I'm still bitter about was the final episode of Smallville. When you barely see Darkseid show up, he wears the Superman Returns suit, but like you see just a little peek. And when his final fight, it was so microscopic. Like they zoom it back so far, you need a magnifying glass to see who's fighting who.
They didn't have the budget for a CG fight there.
But the build-up, like all that build-up at the end just to be let down, like I kept telling folks
I think
that
that's
year.
why I fell out after like season 5.
Yeah. I kept telling folks, like, that was the year. For me, Lost had a way better closeout than Smallville did. Big time by far. Like, it was just such a crap show for me.
I loved Lost because every episode my mind was blown.
Oh, yeah. You kept following it. You kept following it. But to steer back on our topic, we're talking about, like, how the market itself, TV show-wise, has been saturated with too many comic book-based TV shows. Some of them that were starting off pretty well at first was definitely Arrow. It was fresh, original. But then, like, by season 3, with more flashbacks, I was like, I got to bail soon. The only thing that kept me around was just definitely Deathstroke. Manu Bennett, who plays Deathstroke, did an amazing
Yeah,
job.
it was pretty cool.
He was really good. One of my, I guess no spoilers, or spoilers here. One of my favorite episode was when he actually threatened Oliver Queen. He's like, you either fall in line or I will kill the people you love. And he kept pushing him, right? So a couple scenes later, the limousine gets jacked and everyone's tied up and Oliver Queen screaming at him, don't hurt anybody. And he straight up looks at him and stabs his mom in the chest. And he's like, oh,
No
there you go.
remorse, right? Just
Exactly,
like a straight up
exactly.
badass.
He was one of the few villains that actually delivered on
Went
the
through with
promise. With the threats.
There you go.
Like, what do you guys feel about the market so far? Too many shows, or what the ones you like, don't like?
I feel like the problem with it, it's almost too reminiscent of comics themselves, where we have too much to choose from. I mean,
Yeah.
especially with like the CW shows, like you mentioned, we have Arrow, we have The Flash, we have Legends of
Legends of
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
we have Supergirl, now we have Black Lightning.
We have Riverdale.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And
That's
there's
true.
Archie comic.
And,
Archie fans.
and they're bringing in Sabrina.
Yeah, but
They are.
my problem is that every season is like 20 plus episodes, and they're like all like almost an hour long, and like that's great. You have all that content to work with, but like there's not enough time in life
the problem
to
is they're
watch all of this.
They've stretched it out. They put these filler shows in the middle, right? And then they've lost like the comic book line.
Yeah.
And now they're on to like the CW drama teenage stuff.
Yeah,
that nobody likes.
That was my issue with like Flash. Like going to the 3rd season, I was just tired of their petty bullshit,
the
pretty
same
people
kind
drama.
of arguing.
Yeah, it's like there's just too much of that, and it's like you said, too much filler.
What about you, Gani? Are you still on the CW boat, or did you already exit?
I was never really on it. I enjoyed The Flash for the first 2 seasons, and I don't watch it live for that exact reason. Is that it's just too much to follow week by week.
Yeah,
I'd
dropped
rather
off it too.
Yeah, I'd rather wait till it gets out on Netflix and I can burn through 3 episodes every other night, and then
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think it makes it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, to Felix's point, you get kind of tired of like the same old bickering between. They can only do so much so long, and I think I need some of my superhero stuff back into that contained 2-hour. Looking forward to a Flashpoint movie because they can just tell one story and then move forward, as opposed to
That's very
when's
true.
this going to end? I have 5 seasons. I never got into Arrow, partly because I don't like the guy they got. I much prefer Justin Hartley. Shout out to he's on This Is Us now.
Oh,
But,
I love that TV show.
yeah.
I actually watch it. He was also AKA Aquaman.
Oh, really? Okay, I know that one. Now. Why you don't like Stephen Amell? I think
I don't. It doesn't do it for me. I watched some of those crossover episodes and he's okay, but Arrow as a whole, just is not that interesting of a character. I'll give him Deathstroke.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
He's
They
fantastic.
kind of stole a lot of storylines from
Yeah,
Batman,
from Batman.
too.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
gonna
early
say.
seasons. So
Right.
that was what
Well,
kept
they
it
still do
interesting
it.
to me too.
They still do it.
Yeah.
But
to
yeah, they're
this
getting
day.
to that point now. I can't keep up with all the stuff that's coming out, not even realizing that it's actual. Oh, this is another IP that belongs to Marvel. Like, here's
Yeah.
the Runaways. Here's
Cloak
you
and
know,
Dagger.
Yeah.
Here's
They've
the
got,
New Warriors.
Squirrel
they've got
Girl.
a Squirrel
Here's
Girl.
Titans.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here's Squirrel Girl.
Yeah,
I can't.
There's
Everybody
a lot
has a
coming
show.
out. However,
can't keep
I will
up.
I will switch it to the good side, which was Netflix. They did a pretty good job for me with. I'd say my current list off the top of my head would be Daredevil or Punisher, Daredevil, and
You think Punisher is better than Daredevil?
because Punisher had
No
that
way, dude.
grittiness, dude.
No
it,
way.
it was so dark. I enjoyed the darkness.
I love Daredevil season.
There
1
was
and 2.
like,
like I haven't finished Punisher because I got bored like episode
thank you.
4.
I was just about to say that. There's only like 2 good episodes of Punisher,
What?
and other than that,
What?
it's like filler.
Get the fuck out of here!
I don't know.
You're a bunch of
No.
coppers.
Man,
You're a bunch of coppers.
No, I really loved watching him hit a wall with a hammer.
Filler.
That was
really-
the
Did
first
you not go finish the
episode.
whole thing? You gotta finish the whole thing.
I watched the whole episode, but still,
No, I mean like the last episode.
no,
like
no,
I
I
bailed
haven't
on that
finished the
first
season,
episode.
so
Okay. That's funny.
It's
No.
it's a good show, but like you're saying, I mean, like to the general audience who doesn't have a huge interest in the Punisher character themselves, yes, you'll probably find yourself
Might have been
really
too dark
bored.
for most people.
Yeah, and so that's where I think a lot of these shows they just need to kind of maybe shorten it up a little bit. I like that they have the freedom to stretch out and flesh out these characters and these stories, as long as they want. But sometimes I think that works against it when you have so many competing shows.
It's almost like a
doing the
double-edged
same
sword,
thing.
huh?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier with CW, they have so many shows now.
So
They're
many
all
episodes,
20 plus,
right? Yeah.
episodes.
I think you're right
Then you
there.
have other spin-offs. Like who asked for a Kryptonite TV show? Like,
Krypton,
what the hell is that?
Krypton,
for?
yeah. Here we go.
There's that.
And it's on
there's
Sci-Fi. You know
Oh,
that's
wait,
gonna
hang
fail.
on. Is anyone at this table gonna watch Kryptonite?
no.
I'm gonna watch
Krypton?
the.
I'm
I'm
I'll
gonna
watch
watch.
it.
I
I'll
will
watch
watch the pilot.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give the pilot a shot.
I don't mean to
and
be-
we'll
yeah.
see if
Oh
we're
wait,
ready.
what about you,
I
Eddie?
I'm not, but I like the last CW superhero show I watched was Smallville. I watched like the first episode of The Flash. I mean, it's interesting, but my favorite part of it was like, that's the other Flash.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, Arrow has never interested me.
I think that's the coolest part about Flash is kind of the villain reveals and the callbacks to the old characters. Like Captain Cold, he's kind of in and out.
Yeah.
You got
And we got Mark
Gorilla
Hamill.
Grodd. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark Hamill came in as the trickster. Yeah, those are all kind of cool cameo episodes. All that filler stuff in between, I could do without. That's why
All that drama.
I've dropped out of watching all of the CW stuff.
Yeah.
And then Fox has Lucifer. Was it?
They still have Gotham.
Yeah, The Gifted
Gotham
also.
and The Gifted.
The Gifted, right?
Anyone check out The Gifted? I thought
saw
it was
them.
okay. It
Yeah,
wasn't too
I saw
bad.
okay.
the first couple episodes. It was all right. It was better than what I expected, honestly. Because
Yeah.
I didn't have any.
I think they never
expectations
really
for it.
got into enough of their mutant powers in the first season. It was a lot of just running away from the government people.
Yeah.
Kind of like heroes. Yeah, the first couple.
What about you, Gani? Did you check out The Gifted or anything on
No,
Fox?
no. I actually watched Gotham. I think
Gotham?
You and I were kind of watching it simultaneously,
Yeah.
Sam. And the first season drew me in. Then the second season kind of
Lost
bounced
ya.
around, and I was very happy when they got rid of Fish Mooney, and then she came back.
I
I'm
agree.
Like, oh,
She's
come
terrible.
on, she's just.
and then she comes
I-
back. Nobody
I-
dies.
Oh,
That's
man.
my one
They-
gripe with all comic book shows is nobody dies.
And you realize like she's cast as a name. They needed somebody
To drive
big
the
to
show.
play off of and to drive the show, and it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
okay, that's why she's there. She's
And
not.
they give her this terrible power.
You mean Commissioner Gordon from the OC wasn't enough for you guys?
No, I like him.
He's actually
I like
my
him a
favorite
lot.
character.
Like,
He's
yeah.
the only reason I continue to watch the show, to be honest.
And Monica Baccarin, come on, shout
That's true.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
True. True. You got us there.
That's true.
Got us there.
I gave up halfway through the second episode because I was like,
true. You're like, this is dope.
why
Sounds like you
why
give
are
up
we
a lot,
watching? No one like who
You're such a
likes
quitter, Eddie.
Gotham for like all these people. You like it for Batman and his
Yeah.
people, like, and then those people aren't interesting when there's no Batman.
And that was one of my arguments before this show like even started is like the reason the villains in the Batman universe exist is because of Batman. They are
The escalation,
they
right? He
are
started
they're
it.
a reaction to his cause, And so here they are just running about,
Some
while
of them
Batman
kids.
is still not even, a thing yet. It just doesn't really make sense.
Also,
to
my
me.
biggest pet peeve is
Well, they got to come from somewhere.
the
Well, that's the thing is they wanted to make a Batman movie or a Batman show, but they couldn't get Batman. That's the only thing, right? They're like,
Yeah.
we want to get all of the good parts.
Well, I was gonna say my biggest pet peeve is with these shows. Like, I know the writers have to create content for it per se, right? But they don't respect the material too much because like when they start changing stuff up, it annoys the crap out of me. Like a prime example was in one of the seasons of Gotham. Instead of calling him Victor Freeze, his name is Victor Fries, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on
They
here?
actually pronounce it as fries.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's Fries. That's
yes,
what
it
annoyed the
annoyed
shit
the
out of
crap
me
out of
too.
me. Like I had to turn off my subtitle and fast forward when talking about him
Because that's
I
actually
can't do
like
it.
how it's spelled in comics. It
Yeah.
looks like fries, but it's
F-R-I-E-Z
obviously
or
freeze. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It annoys you.
Wow.
All the little stuff, it annoys the shit out of you. Like, and also season 1.5, it's like, okay, we have this version of Poison Ivy, and then boom, season 3, she grew into a full woman, and now this upcoming season,
She's a whole new actress,
She's
right?
a whole new actress once again. It's like, is that a
They
running
keep
joke
changing her
now?
around,
Is that a
right?
running
Yeah.
joke? Just
Yeah.
keep changing
Keep
her
changing
up
her
all
out.
the time.
Well, they
for
lost
Poison Ivy?
They have to.
they lost the girl that. That's why they had to
That
write it in.
originally
They,
did her,
they actually,
the,
the adult, they lost the when whatever. I didn't follow that storyline, but I know that the actress who took over the role when she grew
Right.
into an adult, they
Yeah.
lost her to another show.
She got
And-
famous all of a sudden.
Yeah, and so
Gotcha.
they had to write in and I think if I'm correct, it was the girl who played Captain Cold's sister.
Sister,
She-
yes,
Yeah.
it is. She was also on Frequency, her short-lived TV show
Okay.
on
Oh, really? Okay.
CW.
She's
kinda hot,
bouncing
actually.
around.
She's a cutie, you know. I'll watch her, I
Yeah.
guess.
I watch
that means-
Frequency just for her, really.
yeah, that's
So
true.
the whole reason we got on this topic was because Sam brought up Krypton, and if you guys don't
Yeah.
know, they're literally doing a show about the most boring planet in the Superman.
Is it?
Well,
Is it boring? I mean, they have so much leeway; they can write whatever they want.
But I mean, it's literally about Superman's grandpa, so we're not going to ever see Superman.
like it's
Really-
cashing
Sure,
out.
you're gonna,
dude.
you're
It's all
gonna
cashing out.
It's just gonna be
all
like
over.
Gotham. It's
Yeah.
exactly what they're
Yeah,
cashing
see,
out on
that's kind
Gotham.
of the thing. Like, why waste a property by giving backstory to something that nobody asked for? It would like really gives a shit about. You know,
Right.
like if you're gonna have the property of Superman in its worlds, like
That's what you want to hear about.
yeah, like, who cares about the planet? We know what happens. It blows up.
Well, why did they make Titanic? You know what's gonna happen at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Because you didn't know
Watch
about
it.
the
That's
love
why.
story
The
Never
true-
let go.
that
true
happened
answer to that
between
is money.
Superman's
They made it
grandparents.
for money. But that's just my stance against it. It's just like there's no point. It's just like I don't know.
So
I
you
just
don't
think
want
it's
to
a
know
waste of
about
opportunity.
Superman's Meemaw or his grandpa?
No,
You don't wanna know about it?
No, I genuinely don't.
Maybe he
I-
likes hot tea. I don't know.
I don't
Superman's
fucking
my
care.
favorite superhero, and I don't want to know about it. There's a
Exactly.
reason that in all the movies they blow up his planet in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Yeah,
No
you
one
have to
cares.
remind you how much nobody cares about this planet.
What says you, Eddie? What do you think about all this pre-shows to the
Oh.
pre-shows?
I don't know. I don't like. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I was the one who was complaining about Gotham. Like that's the reason. Like, put Batman in. They're like, oh, we did. He's a little kid, and now he's got this weird mask. I saw the preview for. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yes.
My problem is there are so many good storylines that they could use that have already
But they
been
shit
written
on it.
down.
But they shit on it.
But then
Like,
they go to another whole other direction. They bring in writers. They create storylines about Commissioner Gordon instead of Batman when we have 1,000 Batman stories.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like my biggest pet peeve was when they hired BD Wong to come in and be Hugo Strange.
Yeah.
This is a brilliant actor.
yes,
You could
a
have
really
used
cool
his
villain,
skills
right?
to the fullest level. Between Hugo Strange's storyline and the actor they hired, it was a win-win. But somehow Fox took it and they took a crap on it and then they put in freaking cuttlefish DNA and bring back Fushai Mooney. I'm like, you're killing me,
Yeah.
Fox. You're killing me.
Yeah, explain it to me again. I remember you guys told me this one. So
Okay.
Fish Eye Mooney.
there is a character. She gets cuttlefish powers.
Here's what happened. Hugo Strange injected her with cuttlefish DNA to enhance her ability.
Wait. You forgot she was dead.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah.
dead.
Nobody dies in comic book shows.
Nobody dies.
We've established.
Nobody
this.
dies.
Go
So
on.
she's dead,
So
and they bring her back.
Tell me about the cuttlefish.
So they bring
Some
her
fish
back,
DNA in her.
and Hugo Strange was like,
You like fish sticks?
"Well
Bringing
played,
it back,
sir.
bringing it
well
back."
played. Bring it full circle." So he injected her with the cuttlefish DNA, and then suddenly out of nowhere, she has telepathic ability. She touches your skin, and all of a sudden, she can control you and tell you what to do.
Are you
I'm
saying
like-
that cuttlefish can read my mind?
Well, here's the
I'm never
thing,
going
though.
in the ocean.
What does it do? Because cuttlefish in Jurassic Park makes you invisible.
That's right.
So-
So nobody knows what a cuttlefish does, so they just write in whatever they want.
So, dear scientists, which power does cuttlefish have to control
Whatever
you
you
or
want.
be invisible?
this is the ultimate mutant power, the cuttlefish power. It's whatever you want.
Marine biologists say cuttlefish have laser eyes.
The
Her,
cuttlefish.
her name was Fish Mooney. How is that not like
Her-
gold?
I don't think you hear what I'm saying. Cuttlefish. It's just lame.
Well, you tell that to Gotham.
I know I'm
folks.
not going to argue with you on that one.
However, the good side of Gotham is I like the actor they have for Riddler and Penguin. Really good combo so far.
Agreed.
Like
They play off each other well.
they overact just enough to draw you in because it keeps you viewing the show more. Like just knowing that these guys are doing their best to carry the show.
Sure.
I feel like it's Gordon, Riddler, and definitely the Penguin that help carry the whole freaking show. Like I remember one season they brought in oh my god, what's his name to go crazy. Red Hood has a cape.
Red Hood.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we all look at the same thing.
He fights for like religious purposes to prove he's worthy.
I know you're talking about Azrael. Is that how you say his name?
Okay.
Azrael.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought him in out of nowhere from one season. I'm like, okay, thanks for ruining everything.
They kind of get into like the Court of Owls and some of the kind of
What I'm saying, that's way too early.
stories from
That's
Batman.
way too early for Quarter Owls.
They're starting things, planting payoff. Start real early with telling you a story, and then way down the line they come back to it.
I think we're all in agreement that this show is just completely out of place in the entire Batman timeline. And just,
I actually heard an interesting fan theory about Gotham was that it's all just a setup for Batman to become Owlman. If you're familiar with, there's
The alternate world.
an alternate
Yeah.
world of evil
Owlman.
Justice League
Yeah.
members.
Owlman?
Yeah, and it's an evil
Yeah.
Batman named Owlman.
I'll let you borrow the DVD.
So
I have
what's
that too.
lamer, being called the Owlman or the one with the cuttlefish powers?
Oh wait,
But this is an evil Batman.
Isn't that from? That's not from Crisis on Infinite Earth, is it? The Owlman storyline.
It possibly could be Infinite Earth. I know
I
it's
can't
it's from
remember.
an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things they threw in so they could battle the Justice League, an evil Justice League.
hope you enjoyed my bad joke.
I don't know.
so was he basically Night Owl from the Watchmen then?
Pretty
I
close.
mean,
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
much.
close.
He looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He looks
really
like
close.
it, but he's just a bigger asshole.
So this could all be just the setup for the Court of Owls to take Bruce in and train him to be Owlman. That's what it comes from.
So instead of getting a Batman show, we're going to get the show
Of
leading
an
up
evil
to the
Batman.
Owlman.
That's why it's all so dark and
Fantastic.
stuff. All the villains are kind of just different. I don't know. It was weird. It was kind of an interesting theory, kind of like
That would be cool.
the Sith version of Jar Jar Binks. You're just like, well, that could happen, but it's kind of silly.
Go for it, Eddie.
But yeah, just let me know when that show starts. When they bring in their version of Batman, then I'll watch.
It's close. They kind of been teasing him, with the cowl and him doing his vigilante thing recently. So, but all right. So sorry, let me interrupt you. I'm just going to go down a list of a couple of these TV shows. I just want to see if you're going to watch them or not. We'll start with The Runaways. I think that one's opening pretty soon here.
No, it's already here.
It's already out.
Already
It's already
Yeah.
out.
They actually
Anybody
did a
watching it
season
then?
finale.
Yeah.
I saw half
I'm gonna
of
say
it.
no.
I saw the first half of the season.
No. Anybody? First half?
I didn't see it.
Didn't see it yet.
You asking for brief reviews or
It wasn't too bad. I mean,
It's
it
okay.
stuck to the
It's
comics.
okay.
It gets a little campy at some points. Some
Yeah.
of the effects are a little like,
But
takes
then
me out
but
of
then
it,
it's expected though to be campy.
Yeah.
I think because that's the whole thing of Runaways.
It's okay. I mean, for being a property, I'm not overly familiar with it.
Right.
It's entertaining.
Who's the best character?
I don't know.
Crickets. Okay,
I
next.
don't know.
Cloak and Dagger.
Pilot.
It's
Pilot.
on Freeform, so I don't have left.
That could be interesting, right?
No faith.
I
I'm
agree.
curious to see, but
Cloak and
I mean,
Dagger,
I don't know.
Eddie.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know?
Yeah.
It's another Marvel,
Another Marvel
spin-off.
If
property.
it's
you know,
Marvel,
Marvel
eventually I'll
property.
give it a try.
Yeah.
Right, so
It's
Pilot.
such
But remember,
yeah.
it's on Freeform.
Freeform, which
So
is
it's
Also
basically
known as
Bob
ABC
Channel.
Family.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be really
such an
dramatic.
odd pair of characters that have an ABC related network.
It seems to be a weird network. I agree.
They're darker characters. Brief history.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They're gonna make 'em
their
bright.
origin is based off drug experiments and usage. So
yeah,
that's
Cloak's
how-
from the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah,
Dagger
so-
falls in love with him. They all get experimented
yeah.
on.
I'm curious, but I don't really particularly care.
How about the New Warriors? Another kind of Marvel spin-off property.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's coming out later. Anybody? Pilot?
No,
Pilot, probably.
Yeah.
Depends on what network. That's the thing.
Network? Yeah.
If
don't know
I can
network.
find
We'll
out
check out a
if
network.
here's the thing, with a lot of these shows, I kind of judge it upon network. Like Freeform, I'm in for a teen drama. CW, I'm known for a teen drama.
Right.
Netflix, it might be more of my range. You know what I mean? Anything on Stars would be my range. One of the things that did really good, I don't know if you guys read the book, Neil Gaiman's American Gods.
I saw the first couple episodes.
Freaking amazing. Transfer it to a TV show, even more amazing because it was some episodes were written.
Don't watch that with your little nephews, by the way. It's very
That's what you
graphic.
did. Oh my
What?
gosh.
No. Why would I?
I'd say it was partially written and also directed by the guy from Hannibal, so it was amazing. Like the fight scenes.
Brian
when there
Fuller.
Were, yes.
Yeah.
When there were blood, there were blood.
Yeah.
Like by the buckets.
Okay.
So
Like
definitely
full on
recommend.
cinema style, right?
Oh yeah. Even I want to say even like Tarantino style.
Okay.
All that blood.
Cool. I think we already kind of covered this one with Krypton.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Nothing.
I'm sorry. What's the
Not
next
even
question?
about it.
Too many Krypton.
What's the next question?
Next question. Watchmen is going to be HBO.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
gonna be-
Yes.
Love the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's easy. That's easy.
Yep.
Yes.
I will
That's
watch
easy,
that.
yes, right?
I love the Watchmen property.
I'd say we should even do a viewing party for that one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I actually really enjoy the movie. I'm one of those I actually really
I like
liked.
the
Up
movie a
until
lot,
the
too.
end, I hated the change at the end. I won't spoil it to those who don't know the Watchmen
Dude,
property.
You can spoil it. It's been out for so long.
It's
Like,
a great story. It's spoiler for
It's their
5 seconds.
fault.
Fucking
Yeah.
the,
Go for
the
it.
squid thing. You know, if you know the Watchmen history, they got rid of the squid. I mean, just read it. You know what I'm talking about. But that's
I
my
like
one.
that they changed that.
No, man,
It's too far. That might be a little too far for the.
Really, the
national
big blue
audience.
penis isn't weird enough for you? I mean, like, who cares if it's a giant squid?
It was edited out in Blu-ray. Okay.
Damn you, Zack Snyder, for taking out the squid.
Hey, but it's just on HBO, so they'll probably have
Yeah.
more giant blue penis. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I don't know. Next up, Titans.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
That's on TNT.
I am
Interesting
curious to
reboot.
see what they do with that. Yeah.
TNT.
TNT
Got
is
it.
known for making pretty good dramas. Like, you ever seen their TV show Southland?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
also with
Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon. That's
Yes. But TNT are known for good drama, so I'll give it a shot for sure. At least the first
Couple
2-3
episodes, yeah.
Yeah. Especially the casting. If you guys go check the roster, the gentleman that played Aquaman on Smallville is now playing what is it? Hawk and Dove or the duo?
Hawkman.
No.
It's- Yeah, it's some weird like other bird people.
Okay.
That's
Hang on.
that's literally what they are.
Let me
Birdman.
IMDb this. I can do this.
Yeah, the shot of Robin, the set photo they showed. He
Interesting,
actually
right?
looks really good.
I was like,
But is this like the original like Teen Titans like crew? Like
I believe
It's actually
I'd like to see the
Starfire
lineup.
leading.
Oh,
Starfire's leader, and then Robin's in it.
Are we gonna have another
Is it-
cyborg in this or?
I don't think
We
so.
have Raven.
Yeah, Raven, Beast Boy.
Oh, sweet. Deathstroke.
Amy.
Yes,
Oh,
Deathstroke was
Hawk
sweet.
and Dove. That's the duo I was talking about. Hawk and Dove. Beast Boy is in it. That's all we have. For
So
now.
no
for
cyborg
casting.
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably not because he's being
He's
used
been
for
the
Justice
movie
League.
cinemas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Probably
watch
keep them
that one.
separate. I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
You know, I'll check out anything DC at this point just to see how they're doing, progressing.
Yeah.
The Boys. I know Sam knows this property.
What?
This is
The Boys, I'm a little bit nervous about because it's being done by Seth Rogen again, and me and him got a little bit of beef because season 2 of The Preacher didn't quite
It's
live
not
up to
great.
season 1.
yeah.
Because me and Adam had a, like in the discussion of this before. We were kind of let down by season 2 of The Preacher, but The Boys is of that caliber. It's dark, fucked up, funny. It involves hamsters, Simon Pegg lookalikes, and yeah, it's pretty dark.
It's
but
basically
this one's going to Amazon.
Long story short, it's the boys are a group of government agents, like a super team
That put the superheroes in check.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Took that right out of my,
Oh,
my
okay.
mouth.
That sounds interesting.
It's and then all the superheroes are total whack jobs. Nobody knows what they're doing. People when they try to save the day, they blow up city blocks. So this team's putting them in check. It's interesting. It's very dark. It's
Worth the read, guys. I definitely highly recommend. It's already out in compendium, right?
sure.
And
Yeah.
volume sets.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a check.
I guess he actually kind of sold me on that. That actually sounds rather interesting.
And Simon Pegg is basically they made this character from him.
Yeah,
and
they
brought
modeled
him-
the new guy.
Yeah, basically the new guy of the team is Simon Pegg. So hopefully they get him for the show.
Oh, definitely.
Would
They
be
should
perfect.
be able to. Because he also wrote the forwarding note in the first volume about how he supports the boys, right? And so the whole time when I read the comic, every time I got to Simon Pegg character, it was his voice from Shaun of the
Oh,
Dead
for
in
sure.
it. So,
It makes you think of him every time.
oh yeah, definitely. And like, it's one of those graphic novels where I can definitely say I couldn't stop turning the pages.
Oh, really?
Like, I'd bring like at least 2 volumes at a time to the box office. Could Slow Day selling movie tickets, and I'll just freaking rip through them easily.
But like you said, it's going to be produced by Seth Rogen and what is it, Evan Goldberg?
Evan Goldberg.
And they did Preacher, which I liked. I really enjoyed the comic book, but the TV show has been a little bit lacking. They've gone away from the source material a little bit.
But this time it's on Amazon,
see.
so you know they can push the envelope a little more.
I have high hopes for it. I'll check it out. I'll probably watch the first season.
I just need to borrow someone's Amazon login. That's all.
I got you.
Of course. Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody,
Thanks, bro.
Amazon's gonna get you, man. What are you doing?
You know, and
Did you
that
hear
was
me?
just a short list of the recent ones that are coming out this
Oh,
year.
definitely.
You know, that I put out. But obviously, we're seeing a lot more of this genre come out, and I don't see any stopping.
Oh, definitely. This steamboat's not going to stop. But you guys remember, with all the good of the shows coming out, we are going to run into a situation of a lull where the shows are moving slow or it's dragging. Like the prime example is definitely
Like Flash and Arrow.
Flash, Arrow, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Very
I
true.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, I'm still
Oh,
on
yeah.
that one too. But this season's really super weird. They're in space now. Like they've covered everything, so now they have to they've teleported into the future and they're in space. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
The only thing I enjoyed
Oh,
was
boys,
definitely Ghost Rider season, last season.
That was a
Having
cool
Ghost
cameo
Rider.
for that character.
Yeah.
I agree
They did
with you.
Ghost Rider
They do some
justice,
things
I
right.
think.
They do some things right. It's most of them are worth just kind of binging on Netflix. I think that's kind of
that's
like
true.
those 20 episode things you talk about, Felix. Those are just kind of worth, putting on 1.5 speed and just getting through to the good parts.
Exactly. There's just too many filler episodes just for some good moments. Like with Ghost Rider, I don't want to watch 3 seasons worth just to see Ghost Rider. And
Oh, no,
In a few
you
scenes,
just watch one. You can just watch the season with Ghost Rider alone because it's his isolated standalone story, so it's covered. So you're perfectly fine. You don't have to watch. You don't have to suffer all the previous seasons just to get the Ghost Rider.
yeah,
But my question for the panel is, as of right now, of all the heaps of comic book TV shows, you had to pick one good one that you enjoy. What would it be? Go ahead, Eddie.
Currently,
Yeah, current status.
Daredevil. I think that's still my favorite
Yeah.
comic book show that's been on, or that's still on. I should
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
or still
definitely.
ongoing. What about you, Adam?
Daredevil's a pretty good choice. I like that one a lot.
The hallway scene and when he talked
So good.
to.
Come back
Punisher.
to me. I'm still thinking. Felix.
Okay.
I don't want to keep riding the Daredevil train, but honestly, that's like the best one.
It
that
is kind of
stands
the
out
best
in
one
my
that's-
mind. I mean, I've
this
enjoyed
point.
like all the Marvel and Netflix for the most part, but
Yeah.
that one still stands out the most to me.
Iron Fist, really?
Oh,
was terrible.
come on. I didn't even watch
I
it.
didn't bring it up because I didn't want to make everybody mad at this table.
It was bad.
I still haven't watched it.
Really? Okay.
No, don't worry
I
about it.
was-
You didn't miss much.
It's
That's what I keep getting.
What
told.
you saw on Defenders was like
All I heard from him on Defenders was his
Danny
name
Rand.
every time.
I'm
I'm
Danny
the Immortal
Rand.
Iron Fist. He wanted to tell everybody. I'm like, and we
You
get
have to
it.
keep
We
reminding
get it,
people how
dude. We get it.
badass you are. You're not a badass.
exactly.
He was just badly cast too. I mean, like that's really like my
well,
biggest.
not
gripe.
only that, but he didn't follow the motion properly. His punches, his fighting.
was
No,
fake fighting.
that's what I'm saying. You could just tell he
Oh.
was not built to play this role. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but like he just like he's built like a goddamn yoga instructor, and he's over here supposed to be like the greatest martial arts in Marvel universe, and he's over here doing
Right.
Tai Chi constantly, reminding you of how he's supposed to be the Iron Fist, and all you fucking see is him waving his goddamn yellow hand around.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting mad. But, I actually really enjoy the character in the comic book, so it's really lame to see this watered down version, this Jerry curled motherfucker, just like constantly
Tell us how
whining
you
about-
really feel.
Yeah, it's just really just.
Do you want to send the actor back to King's Landing?
Next
Is that
time,
what you do?
Nofa, Felix tells us how he really feels about Iron Fist.
No, I'm sorry. It's
What
just
grinds
really
Felix's
bad.
gears?
No, I'm not gonna get into it right now.
Here, I'll move into somewhere. What about you, guy? What would you pick right now?
I'm gonna roll with the Daredevil train. I think that Netflix has the model down. You keep it to 10 to 12 episodes,
Right.
and you can
Kinda
tell a
specific.
really good story. And I'm really looking forward to the 3rd season, where I think.
Then
they're
what
gonna-
happened to Luke Cage and Jessica Jones? Not anybody.
I-
That would be my second.
Yeah.
Is Jessica Jones. I
Jessica
really
Jones
did
was
like that.
fantastic, but
I agree.
I
It was
actually
better
really
than
like
Luke
that.
Cage.
Yeah, I think David Tennant as the Purple Man was
He was a
actually
good
he was
cast.
really
So
really
good.
good.
He was what made that one for me.
You guys know he's coming back, right? He's been
He
casted
should.
to come back.
Curious
Nobody
to see
dies.
how they do that. Yeah, because
Memories,
spoiler alert,
maybe?
He dies in the
broke
end.
the hell out of his neck at the
It
end
might-
of the first.
Nobody dies.
No. She gave him a strong hug
But
That's
no,
a strong hug.
it could be like memories because he did something,
Yeah.
the long-term
It's kinda-
effects.
I'm thinking like
Yeah,
PTSD,
yeah.
a lot of flashbacks.
See, I think the Purple Man will be her ghost, like it's
See, and
constantly haunting her.
I didn't know anything about the character before I watched that season,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so David Tennant as that guy, I was like, as soon as he was on it, I was like, man, this guy, I
He
fucking
drew you
love
in,
him.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever he was on
he was
screen,
really
I was
good.
like, oh,
Him and
gotta pay attention
Vincent
to.
D'Onofrio in Daredevil.
Vince-
Just
yeah, that's
so
so
good.
fantastic.
That's why-
D'Onofrio's so good.
That's the thing.
Kingpin?
Villains make even TV shows, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to
all
have a
those-
good villain. Yes, you have to.
Yeah, like that's like I know I might be contradicting myself, where you give too much insight onto a villain to give a good story, but like that's one of the exception where you just see like just how he was molded into the monster that
Oh
he
yeah,
became, and like
I enjoyed the calm.
did a
the
really
calm.
good
of
job.
well, like my thing was
episodes.
I loved how he thought he was just the hero the entire time, and then at the end when he's just having that inner monologue where he decides like maybe I am the villain, and he just embraces that role. Like it still gives me chills just watching him walking down the highway with all the SWAT. Just it was such a great scene. I love that moment.
Makes me
Also,
want to rewatch it now.
oh
I
definitely,
agree.
especially season 2 when he goes face to face with Punisher,
Oh, so good.
and like Punisher's like, or he tells Punisher, next time I see you in the streets, I'm gonna kill you. Like I wouldn't expect anything.
That's the one
less.
thing I was disappointed in the Punisher series was it didn't, harken back into Daredevil at all. Like it was just his storyline pretty much alone.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. I meant on Daredevil season 2, that prison scene.
Yeah.
But definitely Punisher didn't have any cameos per se from any other the properties at all.
That's what I meant.
What's her face? Deborah Ann Wolf,
Oh,
The news reporter?
the reporter.
The
Yeah,
reporter.
she was,
That's
she
about
was
it.
in there.
Karen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Karen.
Karen.
that jail scene though.
That jail
Just to
scene,
go
though.
back there, where he's just standing there at the end, just covered in the carnage.
Got the bloody
Oh,
skull
dude.
on his
Yeah,
So
and,
good.
chest. Was
I saw
awesome.
I saw someone take that and actually put it into like comic book like art. Oh, so good.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, we're all looking forward to the Punisher for sure. There are definitely some other ones we'll just check out, the first episode, and we'll let you know if it's worth checking out for sure.
We'll save you time for all the listeners. We'll try to save you some time.
That's right.
Between
Between the five of us, we'll probably cover most of that. Most of that genre anyway.
Oh yeah, we will. I'll give Iron Fist season 2 a chance. It's okay.
Somebody will watch it. See, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure you guys are excited about the HBO Blue Penis, so I'm sure we'll have a viewing party for that one.
Can't wait.
Go watch
That's
it.
right. Can't
Ultra
wait.
4K, right? guys?
Oh no!
70-inch screens.
See those pores, baby.
On that note, just want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in and giving us comments. Obviously, we appreciate all of those. Felix, you had a shout out.
Yeah,
real
I got to
quick.
give a shout out to the Chess Talk podcast. This is my brother's old podcast that he helped start with his buddy Cody and Brittany. These guys are really cool. They give us some love, so we definitely need to give them some love back.
Say the name again.
Chess Talk.
Chess Talk.
You can find them on iTunes. They have a website, chesstalkpodcast.com. Tune into them. They're a lot of fun. They have some great insight into nerdy stuff as well. If you like listening to us ramble, they have some really good insight to a lot of subjects as well, including video games, movies, and stuff. And the thing is, they play a game of chess during their show as well, so it's kind of cool. They can multitask, a game of chess into their ramblings, which I can't do. So kudos on you guys.
Very
I
cool.
can barely chew bubblegum and walk at the same time.
Exactly. and to Cody, if you're listening as well, man, I did play LA Noire. So it was a great game. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, listen to the latest episode.
And then Eddie, you had a friend as well.
Yes, my friend Tim, he has a show on YouTube called Vegas Fallen Gaming, and he does he buys old video games and does kind of reviews,
Run-throughs and stuff.
Yeah, and no, more like reviews.
Old school, like what?
Like camera just pointed at him, and then he'll also do weird candy bars that he got from whatever Japanese store and stuff like that. Just all kinds of
Like
crazy.
green tea Kit Kats.
Yep, I love
Yeah.
those things.
Those are pretty good.
So he'll review the green tea Kit Kats
Yeah, stuff
for
like
us,
that.
the
yeah.
non-Asian folk that don't know what the hell that is. Very cool. Check those guys out. Obviously, listen up for us for the next episode. Check out our website, nofashow.com. Also, Facebook, Instagram. We're now on iHeartRadio and Spotify, so you can find us on those. Anything else, fellas?
Please like, subscribe,
Thanks for listening.
share, follow.
Yeah.
We appreciate all the love, all the feedback, all the comments. Just want to thank everyone that's listening to us, giving us a shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep getting involved. Send us suggestions. Send us questions. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely.
Oh, possible giveaway, right?
In the future,
Maybe-
we're gonna try and do some giveaways. We haven't ironed out the details, but stay tuned. We're gonna figure that out.
We got some stuff coming up.
You got it. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch
Keep
you next time.
nerding
Thanks, guys.
on.
Bye.
Bye.